oil onto the bearing. We will ascertain what side, which way this piston must go in. You will see there's an arrow on the piston down there. You'll see the arrow. The arrow faces to the front of the engine. So the crankshaft is over there. Okay, that is the front of the engine. So now we will put that piston in like that. But what we'll do is we'll first make the skirt. We'll make the skirt of the piston protrude. Okay. You see why I use wood? Okay, we'll make the skirt protrude from the tool. We'll make sure that the arrow faces forward, faces the front of the engine. Okay, the arrow will face the front of the engine like that. We'll put it in. We'll make sure that the crankshaft journal is turned down. Okay. Wipe the journal. Make sure the journal is clean. There's no dust. Okay. Show that the journal is facing down. And let me show you what that looks like. Okay. If we come around to the engine, you'll see we've got the journal facing downwards. Okay. So that con rod is not going to knock against the journal with a piston traveling halfway down. Then it's going to foil your job. Okay. So we'll just have that in like that. And then now, we'll just knock that piston in. Okay. We've got to make sure that the tool lies up against the block and that the piston goes in nicely without damaging the rings. Now we'll come around to the other side quickly. Okay, you see the journal is facing down. Okay, so now we'll just gently take the piston and we'll make the piston's journal connect with the con rod while we're knocking the piston down. See, it's joined up. You make sure that your bearing is still in place. You take your bearing from the other side, okay, and you put it in. Make sure you put your cap on the proper way, okay, because I have marked my caps with a dot facing the oil filter, so I know I'm going to be putting my journal on the right way. We'll turn it against. Okay, I will be using a size 10 spline socket here. Remember, this must all be torqued. I'll show you how we do that later. Okay, I'm just going to turn this bearing up against. Turn that bearing up against. That bearing will just nicely go and sit in the right position. Okay, now that's tight. That is showing a little bit tight. I'm going to try and turn the engine quickly and see. Okay, it's not tight. Actually, I just can't turn it with my hand. You can see, I've turned it. I'm turning the crankshaft and it's turning smoothly. Okay, it's turning smoothly. Let's show you what it looks like on the other side. There you can see the piston. Just turn the engine. See, piston's turning nicely. Okay, new piston in, and that is how we do all four of the pistons, the procedure. So it's pointless me showing you all of them like that. You know, you can do the same with each piston. So I've got all 4 pistons in. I've just got them turned up against. I'm going to torque the mains and the begins in a minute. But just checking if the engine turns nicely. You can see it's turning pretty well. Okay, nice and smooth and easy. Okay, turning nice and easy. No sticking, no roughness, no noises. Okay, and then if you might be wondering, Gary, why do you use that piece of wood to knock the pistons in? Look, in the previously I used to use a fiber hammer, you know, but I just find that this gives me the right amount of pressure to get that piston in. And if it struggles, then it means there's something wrong. Maybe the ring's catching on the lip of the top of the block or something. And if you force it, you're going to break a ring. So I use a piece of wood, you know what I mean, a piece of broomstick. And I just sort of grip it really tight and I jab it against the things. And because it's wood, it's not going to damage the piston. So that's my reason for using that. So let's go ahead and torque. We're going to torque the mains and the begins. I'll just get the settings and the torque range.